We live in a pretty crazy world. I mean, there's just so many things that are pulling our mind and distracting us from living a healthy life and on focusing on what's important for us. Things like TikTok or these apps that are just as addicting as gambling. I mean, they're specifically made so that we stay on their platform for as long as possible. And it's the same with porn. They're also trying to addict us and get us. And it's just ruining our intimate relationship. It's just awful. And it's the same with food. I mean, food really nowadays, it's not about what's inside the food, how much nutrition and good stuff you're getting, but it's about how good it looks so that people will buy it. There's these sugary drinks that are awful for you, this bunch of junk food, ultra processed foods wrapped in plastic. I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure if you can call that food. And also, men's testosterone and sperm quality is going down every single year. And this is mostly because all of the harmful chemicals and estrogenics that we have around us, and mostly plastics. And if you don't know, like estrogenics, basically the point is that they bring down your testosterone and your sperm quality, and it's awful for us. And also, tap water is not even safe to drink. It's basically poisonous, because the main reason is because when women take their birth control and they get it out of their system and they piss it out and it gets back into the water systems, the stuff that they get out of their bodies, it's not filtered out perfectly. So when you're drinking tap water, you're basically drinking a diluted version of a birth control. Maybe it's not that serious, but it's not definitely not good to drink tap water. It's basically poisonous for us. And also nowadays the media and the news, it's all about getting clicks and views. So it's not really about spreading truth, but it's about getting as much clicks as possible and views. And how you do that is by spreading these crazy, outrageous stories, and mostly negative stories, and maybe even fake stories. And they are just influencing us in such a profound way. So I guess that you're starting to see just how many stuff is influencing us and pulling our minds, and we haven't even gotten to the internal stuff yet. This was only the external stuff. But what can we do about this? Well, this is why I'm making this video, really, to try and, even if a little bit, to help you to resist some of this bullshit and tell you what worked for me. And I hope that it will also work for you. Start living a more healthier lifestyle and do not get pulled around by all of this bullshit around us. But isn't it interesting though? It almost seems like they don't really care about us. Like as Michael Jackson said it, like, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. But yeah, I mean, it truly doesn't seem like they care about our health or our mental health. It's like it's almost all about business and influence and competition. This is why I think that it's important to have these communities to support each other, even if it's online. Now, so far we've talked about the negative stuff in this world, but that's only half of the story, because there's also plenty of good in this world. There's plenty of things that we can be grateful about. So your attitude to the world, I mean, it really depends on what you focus on, what you put your attention to. Will you put your attention to the good or the bad? There's plenty of both. But what will you put your attention to? What kind of stories will you tell yourself about the world? Really, that will determine your attitude towards the world and towards yourself. And now, before I get into the practical stuff and my advice, what helped me resist all this bullshit, I think that it's very important to recognize that we're not only pulled by these external things, but also by internal forces. Things like lust. I mean, just imagine how many men have ruined their life just because they couldn't control their lust. Just because they didn't have that willpower. So we're also going to be talking about that, how we can battle against lust and to resist lust. And there's also so many other things that pull us internally, these emotions like suspicion, fear, or greed, never having enough, envy, desire, gossip, or the never-ending call of work. As you can see, it's also an internal battle. And we've got to pay attention, because it's becoming harder and harder to resist these things, and they're pulling us away from what's important to us. So we got to pay attention, because if we're not careful enough, then we'll end up obese from all that bullshit food and sugary drinks. Our minds will be corrupted from all that porn and masturbation and scrolling on TikTok and all that media brainwashing us. We'll be in an awful health and awful mental health. And this is why we should build like this fortress around us that filters everything coming in and blocks out all the bullshit. And even more importantly, to become mentally strong, to have the ability to control our attention, where our attention goes to, what we focus on, and to have the willpower to not let our desires get out of control. So let's get to the point. What can we do about this? Well, here's my advice and here's what helped me. First, let's talk about phone addiction, porn and social media and all that stuff. My number one advice, if you're struggling with this scrolling or all of that stuff, my number one advice is to find something better to do, to replace those bad habits with a good habit. That's simple. To replace it with something that you like to do. And the best way to do that is by scheduling your day. But that basically means, like, you might remember when you were in school, you had these timetables. It's the same thing. But instead of classes, you put there what you want to do. You create your own day. Open like some calendar app or you write it on a piece of paper what you will do in every single hour of the day. And why this helps a lot, because when you're bored, when you've got nothing to do, that's when you'll do the bad habits. So if you get rid of those times when you just got nothing to do and you're just bored and you're just sitting there scrolling on YouTube or something, if you get rid of those times by scheduling your day, then I guarantee you that you will have a lot less problems with masturbation, with scrolling on your phone, if you just schedule your day. Now, another great advice is to stop consuming so much and be very selective of what you consume and what you put into your body and into your mind. This means that cut out all the bullshit scrolling on your phone and watching a bunch of random videos. Because I'm guaranteeing you that like 90% of your mental health issues and why you're feeling sad is because you're consuming way too much. The moment you put down your phone and you go do something, and not to just get input, but to do some output, to go for a walk, to take a deep breath, to just sit there and contemplate, to talk with other people, the moment you do that and put down your phone, like most of your mental health problems will disappear. I guarantee you. Because I think that this is one of the main problems that we have right now, is that we consume too much. We consume too much information, we consume too much videos online, too much scrolling, too much food. So this is a great advice that I can give you, and what also helps me is to cut it down and be very selective of who you watch, what you consume. Now, the next practice that I want to talk about is meditation, and it's just a great practice to do because it makes you more mindful and more aware throughout the day. Also great for your focus and your attention. And you have probably noticed that we overeat, we masturbate, we scroll on our phones. And when we do this, most of the time, like, we're almost like unconscious. We're almost like not even aware. We almost go like AFK when we do these kind of things. And this is what meditation will help you with. And another thing that it will help you with is, you probably noticed that when you unconsciously just grab your phone out of nowhere and start scrolling, maybe you'll become conscious again and aware again, and you'll realize that you're scrolling only 20 minutes later. And what meditation will help you with is to reduce this time when you notice that you're doing some bad habit. So maybe you'll reduce it from 20 minutes to 10 minutes, from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. And maybe like you'll get to a point where you pick up your phone and you're like completely aware that you got this urge, this like instinct to just scroll on your phone, that you're just so addicted to it. And you're just aware of it. You're conscious of it. And you can respond to it in an appropriate way. You can respond to it how you'd like to and put down your phone. And you can reduce this time between when you realize that you got into that bad habit and the start of that bad habit. You can cut that time with meditation. And also, it's just great to just slow down a little bit and to just stop thinking. To stop talking to ourselves all the time, which is basically what thinking is. And to just be here in this present moment right now, just fully living it. And basically, how you meditate, the basic idea is that you sit down in a comfortable place, however you like, and you just want to close your eyes, set a timer for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, whatever. Set a timer, and you just focus on your breath. Just focus on your breath and just feel everything. Just focus on it, how it goes in and out. And what will happen is that your attention will go away from your breathing, and you will start thinking about some memory or fantasizing about something. And that is exactly what you want. That's the point of meditation. And once you get that, you gently bring your attention back to your breathing. And you do this over and over and over again. You have this great cycle where you focus on your breathing, your attention goes away. You notice that your attention went away, and then you bring back your attention gently to your breath. And don't try to force thoughts out of your mind, because you can't, and that's not the point. Just sit there and just listen to everything. Just focus on your breath. Be completely present. Now, there's also a bunch of tutorial videos on meditation and all of that stuff. You can go and watch one of those videos. I really just butchered it here, like a quick tutorial on meditation, but you can go and watch a video on YouTube about how to meditate. Another great practice that you could do is journaling, and journaling allows you to recognize patterns in your thinking and in your behavior and how you're feeling, what you're doing. And it also makes you just more aware of what you're doing throughout the day. Now you can do deep journaling, where you journal for a longer time and you go deep into some kind of topic, where you put your thoughts down on paper and everything. Or you can do like this reviewing your day kind of journaling, writing down what you've done today, how could you improve, what were the good things, bad things, how did you feel, why you were doing those things, why did you do those things, were there any like hidden motives behind them. And I actually started journaling again like a week ago, because I just realized how important it is. Like first I thought that journaling is like, yeah, it's nice to do it, but it's not that important to just write down my thoughts and things like that. Like, why would I do that? But recently, while not doing it, I realized just how important it is. Like, if you're not journaling, it's like you're just drifting along life, and you're like never checking in to see how you're doing, where you're going, what's actually up with your life. So journaling is like checking in with yourself and like asking yourself questions, like seeing what's up and everything like that. And also just writing your thoughts down on paper. It just helps you to get some distance between it. Like it literally gets on that distance between you and your thoughts, and realizing that you're not your thoughts, and most of your thoughts are just bullshit. And you can also just journal about like, what would you like your life to be like? How would you like to live your life? And go into these deeper questions and journal about them. So I really advise to start journaling. I think it's great. It helped me a lot, to be honest. Now, another great practice that you can do is visualization, and this especially helps with willpower. For example, let's say that you're trying to not eat as much junk food anymore. Well, a great thing that could help is you visualizing that when someone offers you some kind of sweets or some junk food, some chips or something, how will you react to that? And just by visualizing you seeing that piece of chocolate or that cake, that cheesecake or whatever, and not eating that, just replaying that movie in your mind a bunch of times, like you'll be like twice as not likely to do it. Like it truly helps a lot. It's like preparing yourself in your thoughts, in your mind. And you can also use this to combat lust. For example, if you're in a relationship, don't be so full of ego, thinking that, yeah, I'll never cheat and I'll never hook up with another girl, or I'll never do anything with another girl. Because if you're honest right now, I mean, you just got to be a little bit drunk. You just got to have a bad day, maybe an argument with your girlfriend. And maybe like a hot girl looks at you and you have this attraction between you, and that's all it takes. Well, you're not that perfect. So a great tool is to visualize when you get into those situations. Like, really think about that. Like, you will push that girl away from you and say no. And just that could literally save your relationship. Just visualizing when you get some attraction from someone and not cheating. Just doing that can save your relationship. So you can use visualization in all sorts of habits that you want to quit. Maybe you want to get scrolling on your phone. Just visualize that when you start scrolling on your phone, how you will react. How you will just put down your phone and maybe do 10 push-ups. And just visualize that, play it over and over again, and then actually do it. Like, trust me, it might sound weird, but it actually helps a lot. Now, another thing that visualization can help in is another practice that I didn't talk about. And the reason I didn't really talk about this is because I'm not that well, I don't really know a lot of stuff about it, but it's about identity and forming a new identity. A new idea and image of who you think you are, who you believe you are. And this can also help a lot. Now, I don't really know a lot about this, so you don't have to take what I say for granted. But basically, for example, if you want to stop masturbating, you gotta form a new identity that the guy who masturbates is not me anymore. That's not me. I don't have to be the person who I were 5 minutes ago. So you form this new identity in yourself that I'm no longer that person. I've changed. I'm a person who just doesn't fap and that's it. And you act out of that identity. It's something like that. I'm not sure about this one. I gotta research this a little bit more. You can tell me in the comments about this identity thing. But I think that this is also very powerful. Changing your identity of who you think you are. Because basically I think that's where most of your actions come from. Who you think you are. I mean, if you think that you're super disciplined, you're probably more likely to be super disciplined. So your beliefs about yourself probably have a huge influence on yourself. Now, another thing that you could do is research and learn. For example, researching and learning about healthy food. Getting your diet right, which is such an important thing, to be honest. What you're putting into your body, such an important thing. Also, learning about the effects of social media, how to overcome all of this stuff, and learning about the importance of sleep, which also such an important thing. Getting enough sleep and enough quality sleep, such an important thing. So as an actionable step, just do one of the things that we mentioned in this video. Just choose one and just do that, because that's already a huge improvement. If you just choose one and implement that, just focus on one thing at a time. So that's your actionable step for this video. Choose one thing and just do it. That's it. So you can ask me any questions in the comments, and you can actually tell me in the comments which one you chose, how it went implementing it into your life. And I don't know if you noticed that I'm kind of sick right now. To be honest, I'm not even sure if I'm going to post this on YouTube, because this really took me a long time to record this video, because I had to re-record a bunch of parts, because I don't know, my mind is kind of off right now because I'm sick. But we'll see, I might post it. Depends on how good the video is actually, or I might just re-record it. So thank you for watching, thank you for being here. All the love towards you. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment. If you're interested, I'm doing free one-on-one calls. You can send me an email. You can ask me any question that you like. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being here. Have a great day and goodbye.